Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your wages are being garnished. We can stop that now. It's hard enough to pay your bills when things are good, let alone when a big chunk of your take-home pay is gone before you even get your check. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne, and I can stop the garnishment and get the creditors off your back immediately, often the same day as our consultation. Both Chapter 7 and 13 provide bankruptcy relief, but choosing the right chapter is crucial. In a free consultation, we can create a plan to get your finances back under your control. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
Is the mighty Rock, starring BJ and Migs. Mornings.
Because, hey, at least once a day, you should experience a BJ.
You know, I'm ready for my BJ.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. There's a woman. Her name is Rosalind. She's from North Carolina, and she is a 2-time cancer survivor.
Wow.
And she's pissed. She is angry at American Airlines because she didn't like the way they handled her F Cancer T-shirt that she was wearing as she tried to board a recent flight. And and you've seen these shirts. I've seen them. You know, it spells out the whole F word and, you know, F cancer.
And usually, though, it doesn't even have, like, the actual curse. It'll have, like, the F word, like a skull, something that it censors itself, but you know exactly what that F word it's standing for.
Now, those I don't mind. I've actually seen the full-blown word spelled out in some T-shirts I've seen, yeah. And I think if it was the shirt that you said, Steve, I don't think people should have a problem with it. I really, you know, her shirt definitely had the whole word.
Oh, it had the full word. Oh, and it's bright yellow. Nice.
Yeah, and so they were like, hey, could you please cover your sweatshirt, wear a jacket or something, which Rosalind did. But then she said another airline staffer approached her rudely, and here's Rosalind talking about the whole thing.
And the first thing she said to me, she didn't say hello, she didn't say ma'am, she didn't say anything. She said I was made aware that there was an issue. I literally just took my jacket off, I ripped the sweatshirt off my body, and I just walked away and felt humiliated. Because she literally pointed me out like a child after I had complied with what they asked me to do, even though as terrible as I felt for swallowing what I felt, I did it.
Yeah, I wish if she had the jacket on already and then someone was still giving her grief, I don't understand what the problem is. I don't know why somebody would have to treat her badly. If it was covered up, I don't get it. I really don't understand why she would be treated like crap after that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just saying, hey, can you just cover up the F word? Because can we all agree that the sentiment we all agree with? It's just a matter of like, okay, there's a giant F word. There's going to be some people that maybe are bothered by that. I think you could tactfully still say it. It's not like she's like, I don't know, man. That just seems really weird.
Yeah, and the airline's like, look, we got policies that say you can't wear clothing that have offensive statements or inappropriate language. Of course, that's all up to the individual business as far as what that means. But yeah, the F word spelled out is still, for the majority of Americans, not cool to have out there in public.
And they're hypocrites. I've been on American Airlines many times wearing my F Delta Airline shirt, and they have no problem with it.
Yeah, well, see, business is business, Steve. I mean, that's a whole different story. You can F all the other competitors all you want. And Rosalind's like, look, I get it. I get the rules. She just doesn't like how they were enforced.
So, no, I don't love cancer. I don't respect it. And my sweatshirt gave my exact sentiments on something that has tried to kill me twice. If I would have been approached differently and the delivery would have been differently, I would have gladly had no problem. But I was humiliated.
We got a text that says on my side. We know Rose in Tacoma, and her son's been battling leukemia. And she says we're at the SCCA every other day. It's shocking how many people give us nasty looks or mutter under their breath when I wear my F cancer shirt.
Well, and look, you have to understand that that's a bad word. I mean, it's just a bad word to a lot of people. The sentiment is, look, beat cancer, get rid of cancer, whatever. I understand the sentiment, but I don't understand people who don't have the understanding that, look, man, the F word is not acceptable by a lot of people in society. You just can't wear it. You can't say it out in public a whole lot where people are going to, especially if you're around children. I don't know why that's over people's heads. But, like you could say, screw cancer, cancer, you suck. You could say whatever you want. But why do you got to use that word?
Would you be okay? So you would be okay though, like the F with the skulls, replacing the U and the rest of the letters. I'm okay with that because you're not using the word. I'm actually okay. Word.
I'm actually okay with the word. You know me. I think words are just words, but I have empathy for people who just don't like certain words to be said. I mean, Steve, I've been trying to improve using the GD word, using the D word, because even though I don't think it's a big deal, there are people that do. Mm-hmm. So it's like, all right, can I find another way to do something without pissing people off? All right, I think that's kind of where I want to go in my life now, because I feel like if I can be cool to somebody, that's going to be less divisiveness in society altogether.
But it was frustrating when I was going in and out of this building, and building security is like, you can't wear that FBJ shirt. And I'm just like, man.
Well, that's two things. You've got the F word and you got BJ. That's just too much going on, dude.
Fine.
Pick one, you know what I mean?
I'll put a skull over the F.
There you go.
See, I think my problem with it is that when I book a flight, I don't necessarily read their rules and regulations when I'm going to get on a flight. So I would not necessarily. I mean, maybe you just don't even think about what you're wearing. You're just wearing it, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, can you cover up?" And the fact that she did cover up, I think for me it was like, "Oh, well, that's our policy. You're violating our policy." And I'd be like, "Well, I didn't even know that was a policy, and I apologize."
I need to be better at reading policies for everything that I do.
I have not read a policy.
Do we really?
I never will.
Do we really need a policy saying you don't wear the F word on a shirt anywhere in public?
Well,
we really need. I mean, do we need you to know about that policy? I kind of think that's just a no-brainer. That if you're around a public place where children could be, you need to be told don't wear the F word.
Yes.
Yeah. Really?
Oh yeah. Especially my generation. I mean, like, there's so many of those kind of statements. I have multiple shirts with F words.
Oh, dude, I mean, some of the texts, some people just like, I don't see the big deal. I think this is ridiculous. Like, people just need to chill out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have an issue either way. It's like, that's just a funny thing. Like, this is like one of those things where I'm like, I don't wear shirts that have curses on them. If I see someone wearing a shirt that has a curse on it, it doesn't bother me. Even if I was with my kid. Because it's like, well, first of all, Tatum can't read.
Right.
I mean, so what do I care? Like, you could say Tatum's a doo-doo head, and she's not going to understand what that's unless I read it to her, and then she'll be mad.
Sure.
But you know what I mean? Like, I really don't have any issues with either side, but some people get really worked up about this stuff.
Right, and the fact that she didn't like argue with them. If she would have argued or like, this is my right type of thing, then I have an issue. But for me, it's like, she didn't argue. She just covered up.
But on one occasion when I went to Europe with my cousin, she had bought a sweater. I think it was a song or something. It went over my head, but it said, "Bitch, don't kill my vibe."
Oh, bitch, don't kill my vibe.
Yeah.
Bitch, don't kill my vibe.
We
played that on the podcast a lot when it first came out. We even had a little thing where we were having people text their significant others and just says, "Bitch, don't kill my vibe."
I think it's an awesome saying. My cousin loved the song, so she found a bootleg sweater when we were somewhere in Ireland or something. She puts it on in the middle of the night because we were leaving early to go to London, I think, or something. I don't remember. But she puts it on, and the person who sold us our tickets, she's like, "Oh," and my cousin profusely apologized. Like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I was wearing this. I didn't mean to offend you." She's like, "Oh, no, it's really, I wish I could wear it." And then later we realized she overcharged us for our tickets on purpose.
Oh.
Because I talked to somebody else our age. I'm like, you bought your ticket today. How much was your ticket? And it was like half the price of ours. So she screwed us over.
Well, she wanted to see if she could kill your vibe.
She did.
Wow. So that's one way to do it. Just overcharge somebody, and then you can wear whatever shirt you want, apparently. Right. But here's the problem that I have is then if we're all cool with this, which is great, then why is it that in our business we still can't use so many words on the radio? If everybody is so cool with seeing it in public, then
agree.
why is the government still saying you don't want to hear this stuff on the radio or on television, like, networks say? We definitely have a disconnect in society if it's not that big of a deal. Maybe it's just a bunch of old people.
I just think it's so odd that like a word could trigger that kind of anger, or feelings. Like it's a stinking word. Like whatever, I understand that certain places you don't use them and whatever, but even in that situation, if I want to be like, F yeah, church, why can't I?
Yeah, F yeah, Jesus.
Well, I don't think they mind that. There's other words they don't want you to say at church, though. That's the thing.
No, I think I'd have a talking to if all of a sudden everyone's like, amen, and I'm like, F yeah, amen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really bizarre because those swear words are, there are other words that, people get mad at because obviously they have a history of being horrific or they're considered, against somebody's philosophical belief system. But the F words and the S words, they're universal for all of us and they just basically are, they mean what they mean. It's like, I don't know why they're so bad, especially since everybody says them now.
And when did they even decide that these are these, government go, you know what, we need to really step in with language.
See, because
it's not hate speak. They just work. The S word is fun to say.
Right?
You know what I mean? It's a nice punctuator sometimes.
So is the F word.
Yeah. Honestly, you're right. But it's not hurting anybody.
No.
This isn't like, I can understand words that are, going to hurt a group of people. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, this is maybe considered to be offensive or racist or whatever. I'm fully okay with that. That makes sense. You're hurting people. But the S word, who am I hurting?
Yeah, apparently you're hurting the children. That's what everybody always says.
Someone said, go play Call of Duty online. You'll hear children saying a lot worse things.
Yeah, and with your mother.
I have a friend who's younger than me that does not want those kind of words in their house. Like I really have to curb myself. And I've been talked to a couple of times by this person. We don't use that language in this house. Mm-hmm. And by the way, no children in that house. Weird. It's just what they want. And, look, I'm all about, all right, look, if I want to hang with you, it's your rules, your home, I get it. But I don't understand why it's a problem either. But for some reason it is. And
curse all you want, just take your shoes off when you come into my house. That's all we care about.
That's fair.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I got to do that too, as a matter of fact. And I don't understand that either.
What are you talking about bringing in dirt?
Oh,
you're saying the S word is not bringing in actual dirt.
Yeah, right. It's just a dirty word. It's not actual dirt.
Your dirty ass feet are bringing in dirt.
Yeah, I don't get that
language,
at all.
Steve.
Yeah, it's like you clean the floor is meant to be walked on, clean it, and then you know what? If you
all right, when you come over, I'm going to hand you a Swiffer. On your way out, bitch.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
On your way out, bitch.
Yeah,
Don't kill my vibe.
Yeah, we never really had. There's a lot of weird rules that everybody has. I think that's the bottom line.
Yes.
That's the bottom line.
But what an awkward thing! I just assume if someone's wearing an F Cancer shirt, that cancer has affected them in some way, shape, or form, whether it's them personally or someone in their life. And I would just not think to I understand that if you're an airlines place and you have your rules, I would at least go to that person tactfully because there's a very good chance that there's some kind of emotional connection to them and cancer to make them want to wear a shirt that says F Cancer.
Well, I'll tell you what it is, too, is that so many people who interact with the public are not customer service friendly, oriented, or even been trained properly. It is really a problem right now because, you want your best people interacting with the public. And, Steve, you're right. You have to know that person wearing that shirt obviously has had a really massive negative interaction around cancer. So that going in with empathy. And you go in, you say, hey, we are so sorry. I am sure that this shirt means a lot to you. And maybe I'd say, are you a cancer survivor? I would start a relationship a little bit and then go, we can't wear that shirt, but man, I really appreciate what you've gone through. And, I'm going to take care of you on this flight. I'm going to give you a free beverage. You know what I mean? You could do stuff like that. But people just don't have that level of customer service awareness. There are people that are just miserable people in the wrong jobs.
And some people just love the power trip they get for saying no to somebody.
God, I see those people do not deserve to be interacting with people. It is the worst for a business. It really, really is. And yet so many of those folks are, in fact, ruining all the good work a business does to try to make you think they're a good business. There's companies I won't use anymore because of this kind of stuff. So I feel bad for that woman because she's been through a lot and it could have been handled a lot better.
The Adam and Eve brand, you really should give them a chance again.
No, I'm done with them, Steve. You know what I mean? I am done with
I
Adam
don't
and
know if
Eve.
anyone knows Adam and Eve anymore.
I know. I think you and I are the only ones.
They used to send those great, awesome catalogs.
Yeah.
It was like free adult entertainment.
They have funny commercials on it.
Steve, it's getting bad for us.
I was trying to think. I'm like, I don't know any. Like,
I know.
I was trying to think. Oh, it could be funny. It's like the business is something adult themed. I'm like, I don't know any. Like, who makes the Magic Rabbit? I have no idea.
Vicky, can you look up a list of all the contemporary stuff for Steve and I, so we at least can quote things that people know every once in a while? It's getting bad for both of us. It really is.
Give up.
Oh man, that's Summer's Eve. I remember them. Oh, God. Yeah, there we go. All right, that's a whole different product.
I think that's still a thing.
Yeah. Is it?
It is, but
I think how Danny jumped right in and goes, "Yep, still a thing."
Still a thing. They do other stuff though.
What do you use it as mouthwash, Danny? What do you do with Summer's Eve?
Of course, yeah. You know.
Wait, yeah, he does do that, doesn't he?
What the hell? He puts everything else as mouthwash. Why not Summer's Eve? It might actually help.
Dare I ask what other products are they making?
Like body washes for certain areas and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Well, that would make sense. I mean, that they're in charge of that whole area. Of course they have. Why do they call it a body wash if it's really just that part of the body?
I'm calling it a body wash.
Oh, is it actually called a? Wash.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got cleansing cloths and all sorts of
Cleansing
freshening
cloth.
sprays. And
Danny, look at all the mouthwash and cleansing cloths you're knocking on
BJ,
your
I
face.
already know about it. I put everything in my mouth.
Yep. He subscribes to their monthly box that they send out.
Oh yeah, as it were. Okay. Hey, I have a question for you. Why would a lock of hair go for $40,000 in an auction? Well, I'm going to tell you why, and we'll do that at 8:17 on The Rock.
We now return to BJ and Migs mornings on The Rock 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. A lock of George Washington's hair sold for $40,000 over the weekend at an auction.
Why do you need that?
so you can make a George Washington with your DNA cloning machine.
Oh, I thought you could maybe put it like on a keychain, like a lucky George Washington's hair.
Like a rabbit foot?
Yeah.
It is interesting. I mean, we talked about yesterday, I think, the Super Mario Brothers game that was completely pristine, went for $600,000. But this is something from back in 1799. I think that's the cool thing is that, wow, this is actually from a dude who was the father of our country, and it's legit. There's a letter that goes with it, and it's...
Is it hair from his head?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like maybe his chest.
Oh,
or
that would be
stomach
somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think I want.
Yeah,
the hair of the head hair is about all I think I'd want. Yeah, you're going further south you go, Steve, the more disturbing.
All right, fine. I'm just asking these questions. At some point, he's going to run out of hair to be auctioned off.
Yeah. This whole thing started at $1,000, and then they ended up getting up to $40,000. And it beat the $36,000 price that a similar lock went for in February of 2019. And they say that this hair, they believe, was removed from George Washington's head close to his death back in 1799. He was 67 then.
I mean, wow. Like, how do you even still have this?
They stored it in a handmade brass and glass locket.
Like, I guess it would be kind of cool if, like, you went to a museum and there's, like, here's, like, a piece of... But even then, I'd be like, looking at it, like, kind of weird, and keep on walking. Like, I'd rather see, like, maybe an outfit that he wore.
Yeah, somehow, some way, the outfits don't seem to be as morbid as, like, a piece of their body, but... Then again, I mean, that's what parents do. Did you do that? Have you saved a lock, or will you save a lock of
sure.
Tatum's hair?
We haven't cut her hair yet, but, right now she's kind of rocking a sweet mullet. Or at least it's turning into that, so I don't want to have it cut, much to my wife's, disagreement, because I think it just looks awesome. But yeah, of course we would, but that's our kid.
But what are you going to do with that? I mean, it's like...
Put it in, like, a little memory thing, and then at some point, we could show it to her. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's a good point.
I mean, really, Washington's hair is definitely something like, whoa, we have a country because of this guy. You know what I mean? Everything that America is, Washington's the dude.
True.
Well, and once again, watching Pawn Stars as much as I do, you learn that there's a lot of people who get, they collect this stuff like crazy, and it all goes for crazy prices, too.
Yeah, and I guess, but would you pull it out at, a bar or at, if you had people over, you'd be like, do you want to see George Washington's hair? But wouldn't you be afraid, this is a $40,000 investment?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's something you don't do it at a bar. You got to put that in your house. That's like where you keep paintings and things like that, and then you'll have that in a case. Yeah, you don't bring that out to the. Of course, if Steve would be the guy that if you had all that money, you'd bring that out to a bar.
Oh, I'd get my ear pierced and I would have it on an earring.
There you go.
Wow.
Ooh, all right.
That's the only reason why I'd have my ears pierced is so I can rock a George Washington hair earring.
That's a hell of a
Or either that, Steve, that's the only piece of hair hanging off your head.
That's a good point.
Oh, wow.
The older I get, there's more hair coming out of these ears, so I think I'll be all right.
If I met you at a bar and you had a George Washington hair earring, I would buy you so many beers.
Right? Imagine you go up to someone like, dude, what's up with your earring?
Yeah.
You're like, well, funny story.
I got drunk one night,
Right.
and let me tell you.
I dropped $40,000 on this clip of George Washington's hair, and I didn't know what else to do with it. So I said, F it, and I'm putting it on my ear.
I'd immediately avoid you or call the cops because I think you were too drunk because that could not be real.
But I'm like, Danny, if someone told me that story, I'm like, you want a shot?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I
at
touch
that
it?
point,
Yes.
Who cares? It's a great story either way if it's real or not. You're just like, you deserve a shot for that because you went, even if it's fake, you went and made an earring, put some hair in there. I mean, you've gone a mile for this story. You get a shot.
Well, do we have any information about who bought it?
Yeah,
I'd like to know, like, is he a historian? Is he
Yeah.
really rich and just buys absurd things?
It was Jimmy. Jimmy bought it.
Oh, it's like, is his name Buffalo Bill?
Right.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's like the people that want like the Elephant Man's bones. It's a little morbid for me. I don't want a piece of somebody's body anywhere around. I even thought it was weird for my own kid to like have hair and stuff. I don't know why. I just thought it's a little weird.
Like, what about like one of his wooden teeth? Would that be cooler?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess in a way that isn't part of his body. So, it was used in his body, but it wasn't part of him.
Mm-hmm.
That would be that would be a great piece, especially if you could wear him. You go out to a bar wearing his wooden teeth.
You put those in your mouth?
Well, I'd wash them first.
Oh, my
Like
goodness.
a grill?
It's been
exactly.
a while.
Get a
wood grill?
Get a wood grill.
Yeah, this is the most expensive grill you'll ever see. It's George Washington's teeth.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, again, I think Danny, you buy me some shots if I show you that wooden grill.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, we don't have any. We don't have any information about the person who bought this.
No.
I got to be thinking they just have a lot of weird stuff in their collection, right? This can't be the first weird thing that they bought.
They have to be a really rich historian. That's my
Oh, yeah.
guess. Then that's like amongst their little historian friends. They all are like on a yacht, and they're like, look at my fine Washington hair piece thing.
I used it to make some whiskey that is the rarest. That's like what it reminds me of. Like they're going to like infuse it in something.
Oh, I had thought about that, infusing it. Yeah, take a little piece of it and infuse it.
Did you enjoy that glass of whiskey? Well, it has the DNA of George Washington in it.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, look at me. Now I want to cross the Delaware.
Someone says way back when they would cut out a lock of hair of someone who died and wear it in a locket during their mourning period. It's called a mourning brooch.
Oh, well, that could very well be what that thing was. Maybe that's why, because it was preserved in a locket.
Yeah.
So back in the 1700s. So that makes a lot of sense. And then they kept it. And now we're selling it. We're selling your pain for $40,000.
That's a tough conversation with the wifeski, I got to imagine, or the husband, whoever bought it. Like, hey, I just noticed I went online and we have $40,000 missing from our account. What happened? Well, I decided to purchase George Washington's hair. Check it out.
It starts the same way. Well, I got drunk and
Yeah, right.
Do you think they have to keep bugging their significant other? Like, I bug my wife all the time. Like, can I get some new goalie pads? She's like, no, you don't need them. You've got goalie pads that are just fine. But I'm like, but I really like these ones. Do you think the guy's like, can I buy George Washington's hair this time? She's like, no. Last time it sold for $36,000. I know I could get it for $40,000.
No, you can't. You've already got the Elephant Man's bones. That's what else do you want?
This sounds like me trying to convince the wife that I need another Infinity Gauntlet. Right. She's like, how many do you really need? And I'm like, well, how many are you going to make out there?
Right. How many are available?
Yeah, that's just like, do you think Mavis, like Jay Leno's got to bother Mavis like that? But can I get another car? You know what I mean? Honey, I really like to collect all these cars. Jay, how many cars do you want? It's got to be something like that. But then again, you're at that point of your life, they just go, whatever. You know what? You're going to do what you're going to do. We've got money. I suppose you can.
Well, and he made it into a show, so now he's making money off of that.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, so that's what you got to do, Steve. You've got to have a goalie pad show.
There you go. Yeah.
Coming today to YouTube, Steve's Goalie Pad Show, where I just talk about the goalie pads I want.
That's it.
Not even the ones you have. Just this one looks cool, and that one looks cool.
And it's the same set of Warrior goalie pads that I want. Like, check them out. I still want these. Wife.
And I would love, if we could have you then, like a couple of moments of you begging your wife to get them, I think I'd watch that show.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, that'd be kind of entertaining.
So yesterday was the 27th anniversary. Wow. The 27th anniversary of Kurt Cobain's death.
Man, that's a tough one. Because I still think about being in college and on college radio, sharing that news to our 5 listeners. And it was just like, it just devastated me. It devastated our entire campus. People walked around for days just in a funk because, that Nirvana and Kurt Cobain was like, that was the music of our generation right there.
Yeah, that was that one of the basically the biggest luminaries of your generation, of what you loved. And when you lose anybody like that so young, and I think a lot of folks can relate to that in the world of music. You think of Hendrix, you think of Joplin, you think of Morrison, you think of all the and no doubt about it, Kurt is up there with that. It's just like the greats of that generation's music.
The 27 Club, you pretty much listed off.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
People passed away at the age of 27.
And this is the 27th anniversary of Kurt's death that happened yesterday. And someone, I don't know, I guess it's kind of appropriate. Someone recently created a new Nirvana song using the AI, that artificial intelligence that we've heard with other songs like AC/DC and stuff like that.
We've heard Metallica done this way, where they upload all lyrics and songs, and then the artificial intelligence will create something. Metallica, AC/DC were the ones that we had some fun with in the past.
And they plugged in about 30 Nirvana tracks for this one. The computer's like, okay, took it, calculated it, and said, got a new song for you. This is a Nirvana song called Drowned in the Sun. And singing on the track is Eric Hogan. He's the lead singer of the ultimate Nirvana tribute band, Nevermind. And so here's Eric singing the computer-generated Drowned in the Sun.
If it was on one of their B-side collections, I'd totally rock with it.
It doesn't quite
fine.
It doesn't quite seem Nirvana, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a little bit. The AI is trying to get there, but yeah.
Well, and the lyrics are always just weird. Like the AI just doesn't seem to be able to. You can tell that AI is not there yet because it's like, I feel small, drowned in the sun, which, usually, the sun is a cool thing, where you feel enlivened by the sun, or maybe you get burned by the sun. It's like, it's not quite there in my brain to go, I don't see Kurt ever writing lyrics like this.
Come on, AI, live some life.
Yeah. Figure it out. Come on, AI. Yeah, so
that's funny, though. It's it is what it is. I enjoy those AI things because they're just silly.
Someday they're going to get better and better, though. The thing is that it is going to be full on conversing with an AI. I'm really. I think I heard Shatner spent like 40 some odd hours doing that thing that he was doing for a company that basically will let you have a conversation with him long after he's gone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting to see more and more as AI gets better, that it can converse with you, predicting the kind of answers that that a human being would say. Currently, it's just not there yet, but wow, it's nuts to think like in 25, 50 years you could talk to a computer thinking like I'm talking to a regular person.
You think 25 to 50? I'm thinking like 5 to 10 years, maybe even less with the way
you think that they'll be that good.
It's insane as it is. Like when I look at my phone and it's like, are you planning on going to this place? Because they just, the artificial intelligence has figured out that I go to this place, like a store on a Wednesday. So on a Wednesday, all of a sudden popping up on my map app, it's just like, hey, you're going here, aren't you? And I'm like, damn it.
I hope you're right, because I'm very, very excited to be able to like have a conversation. And I'll still be around for that. Might be the only people that will talk to me.
They might pass you off to another AI. Like, hey, dude, not feeling it. Go talk to a Samsung.
I got news for you, man. I think that's going to happen for humans because, there are some people in my life who are older and because of their medical situations, they repeat themselves a lot, forget they had conversations with you, and it really feels tedious to converse with somebody who's like Drew Barrymore from 50 First Dates, where they don't remember anything. And so you're having the same conversations over and over again. Whereas an AI, I would love to just turn it over to an AI and go, here, talk to my friend Jimmy. and then that way the computer wouldn't care that it's talking about the same thing over and over again.
Or maybe you have like a little AI device. Oh, this could be the $1 million. This could be the thing that we retire on. And the device sends off an alert that says, BJ, you've already shared this story with everybody in this room right now. Like it knows who you shared these stories with.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Good call, yeah.
Oh, man, but then I probably have nothing to say. Because I think of this person, they sometimes go, have I shared this with you before? And, I just got tired of saying yes. Because, they ask that it's like they forget that they've asked that. It's so I don't know if the AI can help out.
Or the worst is when you're like, no, you haven't shared it. And then within 2 sentences, you realize they have shared it. And now you're like, whoa.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Sit through it.
Oh, sorry about that, buddy.
Apparently that Nirvana, the quote-unquote song made by AI, it comes from a project called the Lost Tapes of the 27 Club, where they're using artificial intelligence to continue making all those people's music from the 27 Club.
Wow.
It's kind of weird.
Wow, that is weird. All right, well, it's not quite there yet for me, but who knows? So, yesterday, Steve, he did get this one right.
What is the capital of California?
Weed.
No.
Crap. Sacramento.
Yes.
Nice job, Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know what? He knows some of his capitals. You want a shot at beating Steve? You got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Migs at 8:47 on the Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. Here's another question from a listener. I'm getting my wages garnished. Can bankruptcy help with that?
Absolutely. One of the big reasons people file bankruptcy is because they have a judgment or a lawsuit against them, or their wages are getting garnished, and so they can't pay their other regular ongoing bills. People sometimes think that you can't file bankruptcy once they have a judgment against them or once a garnishment has started, and that's not true. Filing bankruptcy will immediately stop any garnishment that you have going, except for child support, and stop your creditors from continuing on with garnishments of your bank account, your wages, and in most cases will discharge that liability through the bankruptcy process. And we can file a bankruptcy case for you usually the day you come in.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.